All right, everybody, happy new year. We are now in 2026. In today's video, I want to take you through kind of what happened in 2025, what we saw in the market here on Long Island, and then also talk about some predictions for 2026. Full disclosure, I'm not big on major predictions. I'm really just big on understanding my client's goal. This way I can better serve them and meet their needs rather than trying to specifically guess or, give them an exact idea of what's going to happen in the market, because in reality, you're never really going to know exactly what's going to happen. But the best thing that I could do is offer what I'm seeing day in and day out in the market, and best try to guide clients on things that are going to help them and their family accomplish their goals. So stay tuned to today's video, and I'm going to walk you through all these different things. So first off, let's talk about inventory. Obviously, this is a big factor. Over the last recent years, we've had a lot of low inventory markets, which has made it very competitive when it comes to buying, and it's created a very good market if you're a seller, because there's less for buyers to choose from. So in this past year, we didn't see a major increase of inventory from 2024 to 2025. Considering where interest rates are in general financing, it's not a surprise that we didn't see a big uptick in the market or a big drop off in inventory either. So going into 2026, we're hoping that maybe with interest rates trickling down, and so they're hovering around that 6%, we may actually have an increase in the market of the amount of homes for sale. But where we're looking at 2026, I don't think my prediction is that there's going to be a major increase in home for sale. We might have a slight increase. So if we look at, let's say, September of 2024 to 2025, went from about 1,500 homes, and then this past September, we had about 1,600 homes in Suffolk County that came for sale. This was new listings in September. September has always been a good listing month. So if you take that and you roll it in, where we're going to be of this following year, let's see. I mean, with the interest rates going lower, we may have a slight increase. Maybe we hit, 1,700, 1,800, but I don't think we're really gonna get back to that pre-COVID level of 2,000 plus for this time period. Now, depending on where the interest rates really go, that's gonna be a big decider on new inventory. One of the biggest things that's holding back inventory here in the market is that a lot of homeowners still have a low interest rate in their current home. So for them to move and go into a higher interest rate, even though they have a lot of equity buildup over the last few years, their monthly payment is typically a lot higher. And if it's not, they're basically having to use all of that equity, which might defeat the purpose of moving if they can't make the renovations that they want or get their perfect home by using that equity to increase the overall purchase price. So because of that, inventory has tend to stay a little bit less. So where we're gonna be for 2026, I don't see a major increase in inventory coming unless those rates go into the low fives, which really doesn't look like it's gonna be a thing in the near future. But again, who knows? All right, so now let's talk about interest rates. This is a good next topic to get into when it comes to predictions for 2026. So it's a quick look back on 2025. We started 2025, rates were right around that 7% mark, give or take, on a 30-year conventional mortgage. Now, ending the year 2025, rates continued to drop a little bit, but really we're hovering around that low sixes mark for a conventional 30-year. Now, what I think is gonna go on in 2026, I think we're basically gonna stay at that point. I'm more just focusing on buyers mentally wise, sellers mentally wise, what they can expect. And I think that sticking in that low sixes mark is a good place to kind of do your numbers on. And my advice when it comes to predictions for that is, if you're not comfortable with the payment and where it's gonna be for at least the next 3 to 4 years before you start to see any sort of equity gain, then it really probably is above what you wanna spend, or it's just not the property for you. So base your new homes on, if you're thinking about making a move, base your new payment on a low sixes rate. I think that's gonna be a good space to kind of sit in. And I think we're gonna basically stay there as we go through 2026. Next up, let's talk about prices, sale prices. Let's talk about what happened in 2025. So we had a little bit of a big jump in 2024. We had like a 10% increase year over year in prices for single family homes. This is in Suffolk County and Nassau County here on Long Island. Now, if we look at January of 2025, going January 2026, we had about a 7% increase in both Nassau and Suffolk, give or take, depending on when you're looking at it, right? But if we just go from January to January, you're right around that 7% mark. The average growth, if you look over let's say a 30-year time period for a single family home, you're usually looking at about 2 to 3% per year. Some parts of Long Island, you're gonna get closer to about 4% per year. But obviously we doubled that still year over year. Now, because of inventory staying low, buyer demand staying high, and the slight decrease in the interest rates and allowing new buyers to enter the market, we're still seeing prices continue to rise. And with market conditions like that, where you have a low inventory, higher demand, although it's not extreme like it was when the rates were very low a couple of years back, you're still gonna get a little bit better than that average return on your investment on a single family. Now, from a seller perspective, when it comes to actually pricing and thinking about where you're gonna put yourself in the market for your launching price, take a look at what's going on and what's available. That's always my go-to. But if it's buying and you think about where prices are gonna go, there's no reason based on the data, unless we have a big change in the market, that prices are going to either go way down here on Long Island or also have a huge jump. We're probably going to see in 2026 this continued steady increase in prices of an average of between 5 and 9% per year, somewhere in that range. So that's what I'm expecting for 2026, another 6 to 7% rise. Now we're finishing the year here in Suffolk County with having an average sale price. Now I'm doing this is a wide area, it's all of Suffolk County. So you have very expensive areas or much more affordable areas, but we're calling it $680,000. This is based on the data through One Key MLS, which is almost every sale that's on the market here on Long Island. Now, if we look at Nassau County, the average sale price has already broken $800,000 at $810,000. They started the year at about $770,000, and this is a single family home in Nassau County. So we went from $770,000 to $810,000, and in Suffolk County, you went from $645,000 to $680,000 and change. So really, we've got that increase like we just talked about. It's about 7%, and I think we're gonna probably have this same type of thing unless there's a big change in the market going through the year of 2026. Now, if you are a seller, you're going to be a seller for this year of 2026, let's talk about the best things that you need to do to prepare in order to, of course, maximize your value and get your home sold at the price and terms that work for you. So this year, I'm really excited about my company. We're rolling a lot of things with AI through our system to help give our sellers a competitive advantage in this market. That comes to actually pulling out proper leads from the database, implementing the AI into the marketing to make sure that we're being extremely efficient with these things, and of course, doing top-notch video, using Meta and Facebook ads to actually go through our database and pull out the right buyers to promote a home, putting that home directly in front of those serious consumers at the right time, the right place that they're gonna see it, rather than just only going through Zillow and Realtor.com and Homes.com or whatever place that we all get to post your home on. So I would say number one for 2026, make sure you're working with a broker who understands new tech. Of course, I'm always a big believer in the old school things. I love open houses. I love private appointment showings where you really get to meet and speak with people. I love signs, right? I love flyers. All that stuff is great, postcards. But on top of that, taking advantage of new video content, other ways to really get your home in front of serious buyer pools and make sure you're getting the activity, that's gonna be huge in 2026 and also years going forward. That is going to separate the amount of activity you have on your home, which then will roll into, of course, getting the right buyer who's willing to pay the most amount of money. So for 2026, my advice as a seller is make sure your broker is using the proper tech. On top of that, when it comes to actual market conditions here, either way, you need to make sure that your broker has a good understanding of what's specifically going on in the market and what the competition is when it comes to pricing. Then using the marketing, using the AI tools, using all the different aspects of actually promoting your home based on those conditions is what is going to make you win in 2026. And of course, don't ever try to time the market perfectly. That's always my motto when it comes to this business. It has to be a real need for you to sell your home, whether that's just pricing or it's relocating for work or whatever the drive is. But with that, that's where it all starts. You're never gonna time it perfectly. So that's my plan for 2026 to give to sellers to make sure that they're winning on all aspects of this business. So prediction for 2026 for buyers, whether you are a first-time home buyer or you're an experienced investor, what is gonna go on for this year? The market is still likely going to be competitive on all fronts. So you need to figure out how you're going to win and get yourself the best deal possible or the home that works best for you. That's going to start with hiring the right broker, making sure they have a good market knowledge as always, and making sure they have a good plan of attack for you specifically, built around your needs in order for you to accomplish your goals. But the reality is for first-time home buyers or people just starting out or just selling their first home to their second or upsizing, there is a lot of competition in this market. There probably is going to continue to be, especially in the hotter areas with the highest demand. So you gotta make sure that all of your ducks are lined up in a row once you get out there looking in order to win. Now, on top of that, there's a couple different things that we're doing specifically in this market to give our clients a little bit more of an edge from the buyer side. I talk about that in a couple of different videos on how to win in this market. But today, I just want you to understand going forward, it's likely still going to be a very competitive market, especially for first-time home buyers. So let's talk about the best way to get you to win. Of course, reach out to me. I'm happy to do a consultation with you, whether you're looking for this year or you're looking maybe another year past that. Either way, it's not too early, and we do that all the time. So that's my advice for 2026 if you are a buyer. All right, guys, thank you for tuning into today's video talking about my 2026 predictions for the Long Island real estate market and a little bit about what we saw in 2025. All of my information is below. As always, reach out to me anywhere. It's never too early to have a consultation. And if you do, with the recent increases in real estate prices, just want to get an idea of how much your home may sell for in today's market, of course, we do that for free. Happy to walk you through exactly what's going on in the market and give you a general price point for your property. Thank you so much.